So let's start with the first card, which is the Sun card. And comes up in the major arcana cards. It actually comes up as after the Moon card. And so the Moon card, if you remember, it's about looking at your fears. Are you looking at the right solutions? Uncovering the veil and going down that scary path and having the confidence to do so. So once you've done that, then the Sun card comes up, and this card is all about achievement, success, feeling good about where you are, optimism. You can see it has a lot of yellow in it. And it's not a card that's come easy. I just said that the Moon card comes before that. So this is not unearned success. You've earned this. You've earned every bit of it, Taurus. It's really from a job well done, basically. Success, happiness, and achievement from doing great work. It also talks about self-expression, the color yellow. So in numerology, the number 3, if you have a 3 life path, you're a very expressive person, or you like to emote, or if you were born on the 3rd or the 12th or the 27th or the 30th. Was that right, the 27th? No, that would be 9. Never mind that, the 30th. I don't know why that came up. That's interesting. Okay, so any of you 27 life paths, which I am one myself, maybe that's why I said that. I'm not really sure. I'm not a Taurus, so it came up. But anyway, any of you all that are born on a number that adds up to 3, or your life path is 3, that is about expression, hope, optimism, emoting. And this card has a lot of self-expression in it. You can see the sunflowers on the right, and this is a golden hawk, and it's a symbol of, a golden eagle, and it's a symbol of success and achievement, like I was saying, and it soars above the cottage very brightly. This can, for some people, be a card of pregnancy or marriage, but usually for that to happen, the 2 of Cups or the Lover's card is right around here. I do see an awesome cup card, but I'm just saying, for any of you few out there, this possibly could be too. Or you know what? It could be the birth of, oftentimes when the Empress card comes up, she's the 2nd chakra. So anyway, birth of new ideas, birth of feeling good about yourself, a new birth of hope, of optimism, of joy, job well done. I could continue on that path, but it's pretty explanatory, this card is. I mean, it's a sweet, beautiful little card. And then the 10 of Swords comes up, and really this is why I was talking about earlier when I said that these cards are being funny today, that I really check out the layout of the cards, the sequence, and it's interesting. This one comes up in the middle. So this is about fear. Swords are about our thinking, our fears, our thoughts, our negative beliefs. And as you can see, this is 10. So it's almost like she's doing a little ritual. The 10 swords are around her, but it looks like she's wanting to create something else. She may have I feel like she feels vilified for work that she's done, but a lot of times this card is a person face down in the ground, and they have 10 swords on their back. It's a little gory bit of a card, but this does not depict that. But 10 is about moving on, moving past this situation. You've been there, you've done that. This particular boar is, I was reading this just a second ago, and I love these animals that they have. It's a symbol of healing and power and determination. So you're determined that you're going to get past anything that's been negative and to make it great. Feel good about yourself. Feel good about where you are in your life. Whatever hasn't worked, it's like, you know what? It's time to put that past in my past. Like it would be like the 5 of Cups, that stinking thinking card. That card where she's pouring out a couple of cups of water and there's 3 cups behind her on a ledge, and yet she's focused on the negative. Well, you guys have gotten past the stinking thinking, and now you're into, you know what, you're putting to rest everything, and letting it heal and letting yourself heal. And it could be mentally, healing mentally past a relationship, or it could be physical healing. If any of you all have had surgeries, or I'm seeing someone with a broken foot or leg, or maybe you do healing work. You might be in the holistic field, or you might be the therapeutic field, or medicine of any sort, herbs, any of that comes up around this card. I don't know why, but you never know what's going to come up. When I said this guy's healing, he's helping her heal this situation. So he's supportive. Let's see, what else do we get out of this card? It's just time to turn the page and release any negativity. Any negativity. Even if you don't think you're negative, even if you think, well, I think I'm a pretty positive person. I'm a Taurus. I'm grounded. I feel positive, but it's just like, let the sun come out, releasing that. It's interesting. This card, releasing that. I want to finish that sentence. Anything that's been bugging you or negative about your situation or anybody in your life that annoys you. But this card has been wanting to hug the celestite. This stone is a celestite. It's a beautiful stone. It amps up intuitive abilities. It's light blue, so it corresponds with the throat chakra. And the throat chakra is about expression, expressing yourself. And that's what I was talking about earlier in this card, is expression. So it looks like too, all this smoke is just going into the celestite, letting the angels take care of all your problems. A lot of times metaphysical people will say, just turn it over to God or the angels and let them take your burdens. It feels like that's what she's doing. Very sweet. Yeah, because through courage and willpower, whatever has been bugging you will improve anyway. So it's just about releasing. It's moving on. The next card would be the Ace of Swords. So be it, ready to feel victorious in my thinking. That's what I'm feeling like you guys, where you are. And the last card is a cup card. They call it chalices in this particular deck, but it is the 10 of Cups. And this card represents happy home, happy family, love and abundance. I mean, as you can see, it's absolutely beautiful card. There's the couple who looks serene, sitting against the tree, and the child playing here in orange. And there's an otter, and the otter represents happiness and joy and abundance. It might be too that some of you might want to take a rest in your home, or you're fixing up your home, or you're redoing it after the holidays, and you want to feel like your home is your castle, whether it's inside or outside. And again, this card is interesting. If these two had been right together, then I would say definitely, and there still could be, obviously, some pregnant Tauruses out there, or marriage proposals. This could be about a marriage proposal as well. It could be for some of you. Yeah, so I'm just looking at the card here. It really reflects, embracing sincerity and appreciation for life and for what life has offered you and what life has given you. Being grateful. Hey, I have a home to live in. I have food in the pantry and in the refrigerator. I have some, decent furniture, and I'm saying I'm talking for you all. I have kids, or a spouse, or a pet, or someone who loves me. Even if your support group is 1 or 2 people, hey, that's 1 or 2 people. So it feels like just really, really feeling the joy of being grateful for what is, being grateful for where you are. And really, it's a pretty positive card, even with this one, because this is about healing and knowing that there's a spiritual value to your foundation. It might be that you've realized what makes you happy in life. It's that inner feeling of feeling good about, oh, I'm getting up in the morning and I'm doing my job and I'm staying in the present moment and I'm grounded, which you guys, again, you are. But it's, whoops, I just dropped something. But that's what it feels like, the joy of staying in the present moment. All right, so let's pull some clarification cards and see what comes up. And I'm going to use the Hanson Roberts deck for this. Well, this one wants to come out right here, so we're going to let it come out. And this one on top. All right. Okay, the Three of Rods. Well, a lot of you have set off for new ventures. You're at least seeing some success. Because as you can see here, this guy, this is his work. These are rods. And he's watching his boats go back out to sea with cargo. They've come back once with money and exchange for his product and his services. Oh, we won't say it could be services because, maybe some of you are, you have services for what you offer. So I'm being real general with this, but he's watching the boats go out again. He's seen success. It's the 3. Again, here we come up with 3. You guys, this really is about expressing yourself or knowing what you want in life. What are your values? Who are you? What do you want? What's meaningful to you? Then the High Priestess comes up, and she is a woman who is very much in touch with her intuition. She has great psychic abilities. She understands her inner awareness. She understands the cycles of the moon. The moon is the feminine energy, right? The sun's the masculine. The sun's about manifestation. The moon is about our psychic ability. This could also be a spiritual or religious figure. As you can see, she has the cross. But, what it's telling me is that your intuition for some of you may be running fairly high this particular last couple of weeks of January. And to use it. Pay attention to those gut instincts. Pay attention to synchronicities. It's like when someone texts you, it's like, wow, I was just thinking about them and you haven't spoken to them in ages. Those are important. Well, some of you have felt like you need to be pretty tight with your money. This is the 4 of Pentacles. And the Pentacles, of course, about our money. And you can see this is sort of like a miserly looking guy. But, maybe you've needed to. The 4 is about building foundation. So maybe you've needed to, in order to pay off debts, pay off bills, you've needed to be careful about your money. We just, of course, had the holidays. So if you've spent or possibly overspent, I'm not really sure it's overspending, but I do feel like some of you wanting to pay off credit cards and other bills. Then the 5 of Rods comes up. So there has been a phase of competition or feeling competitive or seeing different viewpoints in your workplace. So you've either had that recently, or this could be in the past too. I'm feeling like it could be within the past year, 6 months to a year. And maybe you've had to stand up for yourself. Oh, and then the Page of Rods comes up. You're getting a pretty good amount of rod cards, which is about your work. A lot of this month is about your work, with maybe a few of you being pregnant or marriage. But I feel like it is. The Page of Rods can be a loudmouth child, which could be it can be a fire sign. It's not really a court card. The pages aren't court cards. So, but it can be a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. But news or inspiration, creative inspiration comes to you rather quickly. And it's new. It feels new because the page is young. Then the Justice card. Well, she's been coming up some for clarification. This could mean a couple things. Either you're starting to see things more fairly, or you've put your life in order for it to be fair for yourself and others around you. And I'm seeing some of you about your children, whether they're young or whether they're grown. Something about fairness around children. So think about that. Maybe you're spending more time with them, or you've set some boundaries with them, or you're going to see them more. I don't know what it is, but it feels like children. This card also represents Libra because of the scales. Here, I'll hold it up. See the scales in her right hand. So it can't be about legalities, any type of legal court, anything you have like that. Let me pull a resolution card for that. Well, the Eight of Cups comes up, and Eight of Cups is a life-changing event. It's a life changer. It's moving on. It's going to new employment, or this has happened recently. This could be that you have either moved, or you gained employment, or you've moved past whatever you don't need any longer. Because see, the cups are full, and yet she has her back to them, and she's looking into the horizon for new hope, new inspiration. It's about her emotions. So this card, this Justice card, very well could have allowed you to do this. Cut some ties, or maybe feel like energetically you've cut some ties, even if you're not physically with someone or with a job, or it's feeling like you are able now to move on to new horizons. All right, Taurus, interesting read. Let me add these cards up for you guys, both numerologically, and I'm going to match the number to the Major Arcana card. So we have 19, and 10 is 29, and 10 is 39. Let me add these up again. 10, 20, 39. Okay, well, what is 3 and 9 is 12. Well, let's do it two ways. Yeah, it is. 3 plus 9 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. And what was I saying earlier? I was talking about the 3. I was talking about hope and optimism and creativity and expression, the 3 life paths, so that if you're born on any number that indicates 3. It's not just about you guys, though. It's about all you Taurians being able to sufficiently and succinctly express yourself, are the words I heard. Succinctly express yourself. Interesting. I like that for you guys. I like that for you guys a lot. Okay, and the number 3 in the Major Arcana is actually the Empress card. Okay, well, she's the one that I was talking about earlier. She's the typical mother figure. She can give birth. In this particular deck, she's standing outside, but she has her harvest, and she's about 9 months pregnant. And so she's either giving birth to a new idea, or birth to feeling good about life, or birth to a baby. So this is a little bit of a mixed reading, but decide which Taurus you are, whether it's being excited about your life and new ventures, or happy home, happy family, or there's a new one coming into your life, a new birth of a baby.